Thank the member for Wannon. The question is the motion be agreed to, and I call the member for Spence.
Thank you, Acting Deputy Speaker. I'm delighted to rise in support of the motion moved by the member for Blair, and I also commend the contribution made earlier by the member for Bean, who I know is a very proud chair of the United Kingdom Parliamentary Group. This is a motion that all sides of the chamber can come together to both support and celebrate, just as much as both sides of this trade agreement can too. Despite our differences at times, we can certainly come together in support of free, fair and open trade. And I know that this is something the Albanese Labor government both believes in and supports wholeheartedly. This is particularly the case with the Australia-United Kingdom Free Trade Agreement. When a deal is this good, how can you be silent about it? The process involved with the agreement was one of several years in the making. It's seen a change of government on our side. It's seen 3 Prime Ministers in the UK, 3 Ministers for Trade, or in UK's case, Secretaries of State for International Trade. It's proof that our country's relationship, our commitment to work together toward common goals, mutually beneficial outcomes, will stand the test of time beyond slight changes in the headwinds in our respective nations. Whilst the United Kingdom may not presently be our largest trading partner, they are certainly Australia's oldest trading partner. It goes without saying that many things do change somewhat over those long years too, with the United Kingdom turning its gaze further towards its own doorstep, to Europe. And as for Australia too, over those years we diverted our gaze quite intently toward Asia and toward our Pacific neighbours, both in respect of trade but also by forging strong bilateral relations within our own corner of the world. However, this has definitely not dimmed the close bonds and friendships shared between our nations, except perhaps during the Ashes. In 1973, when the United Kingdom first joined the European Economic Communities, the forebear to the European Union, we experienced sharp decreases in trade which can largely be attributed to high tariffs and quotas that were particularly punitive toward our agricultural exports to the UK. As someone who grew up on his family's farm to now sit on the House's Standing Committee on Agriculture, from farm to table would be an elegant way to put it. To that end, I know that many farmers across Australia would be the first to cheer on this trade agreement, given it is one that effectively scraps 99% of tariffs on a giant list of goods I don't have close to enough time to list. In tribute to the member for Blair's home state, I will give an honourable mention particularly to sugar. To those farmers and those involved in this industry, many from Queensland, it is the first time in 50 years where they have tariff-free access to the UK market. Prior to this agreement, sugar had a tariff of 62% placed on it. Is this the sweetest part of the agreement? No, not by far. And after a brief interlude to talk about Queensland sugar, my one-track mind will once again proudly turn to my state of South Australia, one that is set to benefit greatly from this agreement. Whether it be the world-renowned honey produced by Ligurian bees on Kangaroo Island or wines produced across many regions in South Australia and are consumed across the globe, viticulture and many other industries will have further and fairer access to a market of 68 million people. Decreasing trade barriers means increasing consumer choice. I know that the things we grow and the things we make here can stand on their merit on the world stage, and we will prosper in a market that allows us to compete on a level playing field. Soon we can start seeing less wine from Bordeaux and more from Barossa being consumed in restaurants, bars and homes across the UK. In the bipartisan spirit which I opened on, I will intend to close on that same note, a rarity at times I know. Free trade agreements are, after all, a long process, and I would like to end by acknowledging the tireless work of our Trade Minister, for which he has done in order to bring this deal home, but also the former Trade Ministers for their efforts along the way, particularly the efforts of the initial Minister, Senator Birmingham, along with the member for Wannon. I am sure that over the years we will continue to see the benefits amplify when tariffs and quotas are further reduced and abolished on our exports, seeing both our economies and peoples enriched as a result of it. I am pleased to see Australia become a stronger trade partner with the United Kingdom, though it would be difficult to find a closer ally or friend. Thank the House.
Thank the member.